do a lot of damage to your boat, yourself, but either way, it costs you a lot of money in the long run.
We're here.
Now for the first one, I'll draw your attention to the right-hand side of the boat. This is called the Devil's Oven. This is large, egg-shaped island with no structure on it. If you look down at the water's edge, you notice there's a large gaping hole that goes to a 30-foot cave. This is where the infamous river pirate Bill Johnson hid out after the ill-fated Patriots War in 1838. Now this war was being fought to try and free Canada from British rule. Now Bill Johnston thought if he sunk the mail steamship Sir Robert Peel, the Patriots wouldn't get their pay, they wouldn't want to fight, the war would end, and Canada would become part of the United States. But it didn't work that way, and Mr. Johnson found himself in a lot of trouble. So he hid out in this cave for 3 days and 2 nights, until authorities followed his daughter Kate, while bringing in food and news of the day under cover of darkness. Mr. Johnson was then sentenced to life in prison for treason in an Auburn State prison. But he was pardoned after 1 short year under the condition to become the first lighthouse keeper on Rock Island Lighthouse, 5 miles up the river in Fisher's Landing, New York, where he lived to the age of 82. Looking to our left-hand side again, this is called Cuba Island. It says an aerial view of this island actually replicates the island nation of Cuba. This is owned by the McCulloch family from Boston, Massachusetts. If that name sounds familiar, that's the same McCullochs that might buy your chainsaws and your weed eaters.
Okay, Charlie on video here. Hey, little guy. Can you smile for mommy? Can you smile? He's eating.
Looking to our right-hand side, this is called Wheeler or Wawannette Island. This was once owned by Rich Was on this island. Mr. Champney presently sold this island and this home for $995,000. You notice the pillars come on the foundation on the right-hand side. This remains of the Wawannette Boatel. Now, a boatel is similar to a hotel, but it's a hotel only accessible by boat. Very popular in the early 30s and 40s. The next island to our right-hand side is called Stony Crest or Jewel Island. This island was housed a 30-room mansion. But due to the expansion of the St. Lawrence Seaway system, 1/3 of this island and the mansion home itself had to be blasted away to make the St. Lawrence Seaway wide enough for 2 large ships to pass safely. Now the Seaway Development Corporation had no use for this island. They put up a sealed bid. Winning bid on this island was $77,777, and yes, 77 cents. Thus the lucky number 7. At that point you can actually see 5 miles up or down the river. This home is owned by the Clark family, who own the Clark Sheep Music Corporation from Santa Barbara, California. Their family has been in possession of this home for well over 100 years. Looking to our left-hand side, this is Key Wade Marina. If you've ever done this tour before, they always had tires for a seawall only. Now, if you got a camera, this next set of islands to our left-hand side is one of the high points of our tour. This is the only artificial island we're going to have on our tour today. It's called Longview or Artificial Island. Back at the earlier times, a gentleman and his wife came to this area named Hudson P. Rose. Mr. Rose went to his wife, he said, honey, you find an island and I'll build you a beautiful summer home on it. Well, Mrs. Rose, a very fussy woman. She couldn't find an island in all the 1,000 islands that she liked. So Mr. Rose merely purchased 3 underwater shoals, built a seawall around it, filled it in with dirt, sand, and gravel, planted some trees, and built this beautiful home you see to our left-hand side. But the story doesn't end there. As I said, Mrs. Rose, a very fussy woman. She didn't like the island. She didn't like the home. Come to find out, she didn't like Mr. Rose either, and left all 3. This home then went up for sale for $995,000. They couldn't sell it. They tried it for $695,000, it still wouldn't sell. Finally, the Duryea family from Scottsdale, Arizona. Now, while I'm getting ahead of myself, in a matter of a few minutes, we'll be going directly over top of a 634-foot sunken Canadian laker called the Roy A. Jodrey. Now, it was November 14th of 1974, the Jodrey was heading the opposite direction we're heading now. When it veered off the main shipping channel,
A couple more really pretty homes up here.
looking to our left-hand side again, this beautiful home on the point up here is called Hopewell Hall. This is once owned by Clover Bolt Bears, last remaining granddaughter of George Bolt, builder of Bolt's Castle. Now, if you look at the architecture around this beautiful home, you see Bolt Castle, you can see it was actually influenced by the Bolt architect. Looking to our left-hand side again, this beautiful island is called Pullman or Castle Rest. This is one owned by George Pullman, founder of the Pullman Tank Sleeping Railroad car. Now this animal was highly popularized by a guest he had over his island one day, the then President Ulysses S. Grant. Now when the President goes, the press will follow. One day Mr. Grant and Mr. Pullman was on a fishing trip when the President actually fell out of the boat. 3 bodyguards had to jump in the water and literally saved his life. That highly publicized this area when they found out that Civil War presidential hero couldn't swim. Looking off in the distance, this is the Thousand Islands Club. Back in the golden years, George Bolt owned it. He has 3 polo fields and a 9-hole golf course. The president has a 27-hole PGA approved golf course, a very nice country club, and a very fine yacht club. Fell in love with this area. Wanted to find an island to build a castle on. What better for his very own queen than her very own castle? Look all around upon this beautiful island you see in front of us. It was then owned by a gentleman named E.K. Hart, the then Senator of New York State. Mr. Hart was selling this island for the absurd sum of $10,000. Said he'd be absurd because islands go for $500 or $600. But for his queen, money was no option. She merely changed the spelling of Hart from H-A-R-T to H-E-A-R-T and started construction of a beautiful castle in 1900. Now it said that George Bolt spent all the Reverend Saxon family from Ogdensburg, New York. Looking off in the distance, you'll see a medieval type building. This is the Bolt Yacht House. This is where George Bolt stored all of his yachts. If you notice the doors go all the way to the top, that you never ever have to lower your mask upon entering or exiting the building at any given time.
Come on, Charlie. Hi. Come on. There he goes. That's our Charlie smile.
Now the first structure in the castle itself is called the Arch of Honor. Said to be a miniature replica of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France.
Okay, Jesse. Freezing weather on the boat.
But that's called
It's a 2-hour, 15-minute boat tour, so we're going to be here a while taking different things. Jesse, are you having a good time? Yeah, what are you enjoying the most about it?
The
what? Yeah. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we all have on tie-dye shirts. Charlie, there's Trish.
This is called Full Tree Island.
Allie, Trish, what's the name of this bridge up here?
This is the home of the famous
I'm not sure. I think you just mentioned it. Where's it goes from over Wellesley Island?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's a pretty bridge. I think then it goes further over here. We're on the St. Lawrence River, so
That's not bad enough. We have a special thing today. It's a honeymoon breakfast.
and see everything in the background. We think this church is right here in the sky there. On a clear day, a 40-mile visibility of Thousand Island, and I think it's come on 4 enough high. So it's a great place to see the island if you can get a plane or a helicopter. Of course, the boat tour is giving us a great view. We can watch it every and just for information, we're on the Canadian side of the island.
Now the children come on to this side, and those who are on the right-hand side, you want to take a picture. That way there you can take a picture.
Jesse and Allie are going up here because they just made an announcement that all kids 12 and under can come up and take turns driving the boat. I'm going to stand in line and try to get Jesse on tape to do that, and maybe even Charlie. And here's a little bit better view of that bridge coming up right in front of us here. It's a very beautiful area, and we're just having gorgeous weather today. It's probably 70s, cool, no humidity whatsoever. Nothing like it would be in Atlanta or Houston. We are just having a great time. Jesse is live driving the Uncle Sam boat tour boat. And Captain, what is the captain's name?
Bear Paw.
All right.
I gotta get a picture too, Jesse.
Jesse, hang on. And they're writing out Jesse's little certificate. He's going to get a certificate for driving the boat tour today. We're writing Charlie's little certificate out. His hand it go. Okay, Charlie and Tommy, go on up. Right. Baby Charlie. Gotta get a picture of Tommy's tie-dye.
How come we don't have a tie-dye shirt?
Okay, there's Charlie and Tommy, and they're going to be driving the boat too. And Charlie's, yeah, there he goes. Smile, Charlie. Smile. Good boy. You getting pictures of him, Allie?
Charlie.
Oh, he's having a great time. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, this is the smallest island in Thousand
This home once
As I
sold
mentioned
2 years
earlier,
ago
we're a
for
family of
$2.5
tie-dyes. We
million.
got Tommy's plain tie-dye with no marks on it. He's kind of tired. That's why he looks so crabby in the picture here. And
Now this
Allie
American
says
right now
Alice
is
Bay,
the Canadian
with a little
Millionaire's
sunshine on
Row.
it.
Now the Millionaire's Row we went through on the other side was the American Millionaire's Row of homes of 50 to 150
And, we
years
couldn't
old.
find any for
The
Charlie,
homes you're going
so
to see
he's just
now
in his
are
normal
25
outfit.
years old or less. Today we woke up to 3 to 5 inches of ice on
Inside of that
everything.
house right there.
Trees were down, lines were down, power was out. You couldn't walk, you couldn't drive. We're in the national news, a major disaster area for this storm. I, in my hometown, personally lost my power 28 consecutive days. These islanders lost their power till June or July. They had to be here when the power was turned on to make sure the sparks would ignite. They say these trees will never go back to natural beauty. They never grow taller, they may grow wider. Now for the children aboard the boat, we have something on the left-hand side that we've seen more and more on the tours, that blue and yellow flotation device. What this is? An in-water trampoline.
Oh, it's an in-water trampoline. Never
Very
heard
nice
of
thing
it.
to have on our busy days of doing tours. We can do that to cool right off. Until we found out they run anywhere from $1,200 to $5,000. We'll wait for the price to drop first, I guess. For our right-hand side, this is all Paradise Island. Now, Paradise Island was the subject of a raffle from a children's hospital. I didn't have to go too far to find the winner of this raffle. It was a nurse. It's pretty sad about this until a Century 21 agent wrote around a check for $250,000. Not bad in the $10 investment 2 years before. Now the gentleman who bought this island is a master woodcraft from Canada. He does chainsaw carving. Now coming to the right-hand side behind the green and white marker is a large crow, and down below, or a large hawk, and down below is a bear carrying a salmon. These are chainsaw carvings from a master craftsman from Canada. Crow is right under the hawk is on the point. They do swim across these channels, believe it or not. Okay, looking to our left-hand side, this group of islands here is called Smuggler's Cove. There are 7 ways in and 7 ways out of these islands. Back during the earlier time, the rum runners would go through these islands. They would have bootleg scotch tied in the back of the boat in crates. Now there's 7 ways in and 7 ways out. As the authorities would show up, they would merely reach the back, grab a knife, cut the line, and to get away without getting caught. But as authorities kept showing up more and more, they found out they had more bootleg scotch line in the bottom of the Thames Bolton. On that where we've been today, the story of the locking system, and probably my overall favorite picture of all, the picture of the 3 spans of the Canadian bridge system made into one long 4-mile span. Now I sell these books for $2.50. Now along with these, you get 6 picture postcards. Now I cannot sell them separately, they all have to be sold as one piece, and it's still $2.50. Now, as you probably gathered, you get a small commission off selling these books. Between these books and any tips I get, makes up my salary as a tour guide on a daily basis. I'll be around this way in a matter of a few minutes. You do not have to buy a book to ask me a question. Don't feel obligated. Pretty quick, the answer stated no. I find it my
Mr.
greatest
Ricard
asset.
owns these 2
When
islands.
me and my wife
The
get
big
an
one
argument
where
like
the house
couples normally do,
is surrounded
I
completely
merely
by
pack a lunch,
Canadian
get a
waters.
6-pack of beer, grab
Small
the dog,
one
and leave
is
the country
completely
for a while.
surrounded by U.S.
And let her
waters,
cool
and
off.
that bridge right there
That we want to
is
get back
the
to American
smallest.
waters.
Ah, where'd it go?
Now looking off either side of the boat,
Smallest
you
international
notice the water's
bridge
taking on a very light color. This is not
Hilarious.
another borderline trick, so I won't get you again. This is because the area going through right now is called the mudflat.
Here we are back at Bolt Castle, about to get off our boat tour. That was a wonderful little tour.
Hey, where are we? I'm traveling again. Maryland, where are we, Maryland?
Really quite little area here. And
I don't want to know. What do you want all your reasons?
little Charlie, Charlie.